Alright, folks. Today is journal entry 6, I think. And yesterday, or last night, was actually pretty good because I didn't have a lucid dream, but I went to sleep. I was listening to Stephen LaBarge, I think his name is, and he was talking about the intent. No, it was Tom Campbell, but it was also Stephen LaBarge. They both said the same thing, but they were talking about intention. Just setting your intention at night, which is pretty much what I've been doing throughout the day. But they were talking about just setting your intention at night to lucid dream and to have a goal. To don't just set your intention to lucid dream, but to also have a goal. So I was making my goal. I'm going to speak to the dream awareness when I'm going to question the dream awareness when I get into the dream, when I become lucid. And I'm going to talk about what the dream awareness is in a second, just in case you don't know. But that was my goal, was to talk to the dream awareness. So I woke up in the middle of the night and I heard myself in my head. I was asking questions. It was like I woke up in the middle of a question. I was still asking that question. And I heard response. I don't remember what it is, though. I don't remember what it was. Now, this isn't the first time this has happened. This has actually happened to me pretty much throughout my, I want to say, Christian life. Once I first became a Christian, I started to, at least this is when I remember it, going to sleep or waking up and hearing like a conversation between me and another person. But once I began teaching, it began to be those, I would wake up in the morning and have revelations, as opposed to it just being a conversation that I didn't remember. It began to be revelations. It began to be things that I didn't know, and answers to questions that I didn't know, and kind of like arriving at conclusions that I didn't know. For instance, there was a time when I was having a dream about a girl that I was currently with at that time, and she was going through some kind of like tribulation, like that hard pressing, being pressed into the narrow way, that kind of tribulation. And I was just asking, in the dream awareness, I was asking God, what is she going through? And he said, she wants to be love, I think. So I'm making her mature, because love equals maturity, which is the conclusion of every person that I've seen from the research that I've watched, documentaries and research and all that kind of stuff that I've watched. That's the conclusion that everyone reaches. Love and maturity are synonymous, and that is the goal of every spiritual being, is to reach the state where they are love, which is synonymous with maturity. Not the love that we think. This love is the opposite of fear, not love that is compassion. This love is the love that doesn't care what you think of me. I'm going to tell you the truth. Doesn't care, but it says it in a way that is void of pride as well. So it's not, I don't care what you think of me, I'm going to say it, and then you get offended. No, it's, I'm going to say it in the best way, even though you may get offended and hate me and not want to see me anymore. As opposed to, I know I should say it, but I'm so afraid of losing you that I won't say the truth. Things like that, True love. And that's probably even not even really summing it all up. But it's all been the shedding of fear. Everyone who's died and come back has said that death is an illusion, and they lost the fear of death, which has given them true life. So that loss of fear has given them the ability to love, because the only time we have a lack of love for others is when we're trying to preserve self. That self-preservation, which is our instinct that keeps us alive when it's time. I know a person who ran behind people when he was getting shot at, ran behind other people to use them as a shield. That's just self-preservation. These are people that he cared about, but not more than himself. And that's all fear of death. It's the exact same thing. You care about others. You care about yourself more than others because you want this life, because you think that there is a life to keep, but the true life is after this. This is the simulation. So shedding that fear is synonymous with true love, because true love, greater love has no man than to lay down his life for his fellow man. Because And just like Jesus also said, Jesus being our higher self, the best self that we can be, the truly mature, love, awakened us. Jesus said that any man who tries to save his life will lose Jesus. But any man who loses his life for my sake will find it. Jesus said that if any man desire to come after me, let him take up his cross, which speaks of crucifying the ego, the personality that comes with the body. Let that part die and let him follow me. He says that any man who desires to follow me, let him take up his cross and follow me, or something like that. But the word that he uses to follow him means to deny self, meaning, or to act unlike yourself. It means to come out of those bondages of the personality, the ego, and to be love, be mature. Put away those childish things and become a man, like Paul was talking about. The greatest out of these three is love. That's the whole process he was talking about. Putting away childish things, becoming a man. But in a way, I digress. But I'm trying to talk about what the dream awareness is. If you've ever heard about Don Juan, who was the Mexican shaman, was it that? Yeah. Carlos Castaneda, I think, wrote about his encounters with this shaman, Don Juan. He talks about lucid dreaming and that there's a awareness in the dream that you can talk to. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't put a lot of emphasis on it because it wasn't the point. The point for them was something different in dreaming. But there's another guy, I can't remember his name right now, but he helped write the book with Stephen LaBarge, I believe. And he talks about the dream awareness as well, being a dream. It's like a all-knowing, I don't know, consciousness, but it's you. It's like that database of memory that's attached to the earth. If you guys have ever heard the Akashic records or anything like that, I don't want to go into that now, but it knows things that you can't know, and it can simulate. It's almost like the holodeck. As a matter of fact, let me just narrow it down and say, if you've ever watched X-Men, it's like the Danger Room, and if you've ever watched Star Trek, it's like the holodeck, where whatever experience you desire, you can speak to the dream awareness and it'll create that for you so that you can live it and have the reaction to it. If there's, like, for example, a fear that you have, you can ask the dream awareness to let that fear manifest so that you can fight it and conquer it. If there's, like a fear of flying, you can fly to different places. If there's a question you want to know about the universe, you can ask the question. And if you can sustain the answer, the dream awareness will give it to you. If you can't, the dream awareness will tell you. It's amazing. Now, that was my goal last night, and I woke up in the middle of the night asking questions. So it makes me think maybe I did have a lucid dream that I just don't remember. So I don't know. And the other thing was the fact that the majority of, well, how could I say this? A lot of the revelations that I've received have come that way. In the middle of the night, waking up, half woke, half sleep, but not really knowing where I am, and having a conversation with someone that really sounds like me, which is what the dream awareness is. It's like your higher self. It's like that consciousness that's with us right now that I'm going to talk about in a second. And, this thing just would give me information, like give me conclusions. I'm talking about balance. Like, I'm really, really struggling with, if this is true, then why is this over here happening? And I mean, that question coming in, me talking to this thing about it and getting real crystal answers that are applicable, that I can live my life by, like the proceeding word of God, like that. Not just the bread, but the proceeding word. So I never really linked the two together until last night when I woke up in the middle of the night asking questions, because that was my intention, was to ask the dream awareness questions when I became lucid. So I must have become lucid and come out of my sleep, unfortunately. And it makes me rethink what lucid dreaming even is, if I've already been having encounters with the dream awareness, but not to the point where I want, but definitely to the point where I'm getting accessible information. Now, let me see. I want to talk. Oh, the other thing is, I might have mentioned this in the lucid dreaming part. I'm not sure, but I've definitely mentioned this in Man Know Thyself, the playlist I have, Man Know Thyself, where God says, he said to Moses, I think in the book of Numbers, if I want to make myself known to a prophet, I do it in dreams and visions. A vision is a day dream. When you are dreaming, or when put like this, whenever you've changed your conscious frequency to a different frequency, is when you are no longer aware of your body anymore. You're no longer aware of your surroundings. Though you might hear it faintly in the background, you were just somewhere else, imagining something different. You literally just, that's a form of lucid dreaming. That's when you do that and you come back with the revelation for life, that's a vision. It's the exact same thing. I have those all the time, and I never put the two together until today. When I have them in the shower a lot, because that's where I like to go and zone. You know, if you've ever had this where you can literally, it's like leaving your body, and your body will continue to wash itself because you trained it to do that with all the thousands, if not tens of thousands of showers that you've taken, right? You've trained it to do that. And then you can go somewhere else mentally, because mentality, I don't even know what to call it, but like the mental plane is, if on the level of, I put it like this, if you look at it from solids to gases, the mental plane is like gases. It's very, very, very fine. But it's a realm in and of itself, just like this thick, gross realm of what you can see here is a realm in and of itself. But maybe I digress again. But what I'm trying to say is that they're the same. And I'm noticing that the same consciousness that gives me answers in dreams, the same consciousness that gives me symbolic dreams. And that's the other thing about the dream awareness. When you become lucid in the dream that you're having, you can ask it what every part of the dream is symbolic of, and it'll tell you. That's the exact same role as the angels and the Holy Spirit in the Bible. So who could this consciousness be? So, you know, that's the other thing that trips me out. But what I'm realizing is, as the two worlds become one for me, as they're starting to blend, because fortunately I could remember my last dream last night. As the two consciousnesses start to blend, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, I'm noticing that consciousness is aware to me, is accessible to me here. Because there's no difference between dreaming and daydreaming. So if I could lucidly dream, I can lucidly daydream as well. And I'm realizing how it happens, because I have to reshape what I think the experience is supposed to be. Just like in meditation, a lot of people fail at meditation because they go into it with expectation. Well, lucid dreaming and meditation and imagination are pretty much all synonymous. So I have been hijacking my experiences by expecting what to experience out of a lucid dream. So I have to redefine that in order to gain even crumbs as I crawl to being able to have full, vivid lucid dreams. So I'm trying to, man, I can feel it surging through me now. It's just giving me more life and more inspiration. So I'm going to try to continue to do that and to maintain that. But I hope you guys see what I'm saying. God speaks to his prophets through dreams and visions. Remember that. The most powerful men in the Bible could all interpret dreams and visions. The word parable and the word authority in Hebrew are the same word, mashal. They just pronounced differently, but they're spelled the same way. So remember that. All right. But my dream last night, I'm noticing two things. I noticed some things last night. A friend of mine got into a car accident, and his embarrassment, I could feel the embarrassment in the dream. He got into a car accident, and I could feel the embarrassment. This happened to me in another dream where I saw a man run into a fire hydrant, and because of his embarrassment in the dream, I just wanted to get away from him. I felt bad for him. I just wanted to get away. When my friend ran into a house, he got out the car and turned around and looked to see if anyone was there. I ducked out of the way because I was so embarrassed for him. Right? So, and it was on a street that I grew up on. I'm noticing now that this is a recurring street in my dreams. So I'm starting to see these dream signs, man. And the other, okay, so yeah, the embarrassment, the street, and also the house that I was playing Call of Duty again in a dream last night. Finally, right? But I didn't wake up from it because there were no guns. It was like kind of like it was capture the flag, but almost like two-hand touch football. So it was like flag football, capture the flag, and that was interesting. And I was coming out of a house that I had went into in a previous dream. So it's like I'm seeing all these things are synonymous. Now this is cool because the dream realm is created by us. We have total domination of that place, and the dream realm is us. But the dream realm is us as well as this other consciousness, right? It also has dominion over it too, but it's like the holodeck or the danger room where whatever you call out and create can be created. So that means that I'm creating this dreamscape. All these familiar places were created by me for a particular reason. You know, that means that each one has a, I put it like this. I'm also noticing when I hear other people's dreams that the places they create are familiar to them and are usually from a good time in life. If it's a good dream, you see what I mean. So Bucknell Street, that's the street that I'm talking about. I had fun on. This is where I met a lot of my friends and family that have been with me for life since then. So it's a real good place, some real good memories there. And actually, the friend that wrecked the car, it grew up on that street. Well, I met him on that street too. So, and the house that I was going in and out of was my aunt's house when we moved across the street. So, you know, I'm seeing all these different things. I'm creating that. That place exists inside of me, and I'm going there inside of me in my dreams. So I can, because I'm seeing these dream signs now, those things will start to become more aware to me when I'm on those blocks, because I've been on those blocks so many times because they're inside of me. You know, they're important to my reticular activating system. They've been etched into a memory that I can access, as opposed to, you know, because the subconscious mind records all memory, though, but not all memory can I access. But the things that are repetitive, I can access. Those things I'm seeing in my dreams. That's why if we make reality checks during the day, or am I dreaming? Am I dreaming? Am I dreaming? If we make that something that we do during the day, when I see my hands in my dreams, I will become aware that I'm dreaming. Then that becomes just as repetitive. Alright, so I'm excited now, and I can't wait to go to sleep tonight. I might just take a nap. But yeah, I can't wait to go to sleep, because now I'm seeing things totally different, man. All those revelations that you guys hearing in Man Know Thyself and the Gospel of Lou, all that stuff, you know, that's a lot of that stuff came from the dream consciousness. It came from being in that state and usually waking up in the middle of the conversation and remembering the tail end part so that I can get the gist of it. Or yeah, mostly that's how it happens. Or in a daydream conversation with who knows who, and then I come back and be like, wow, that's something I can apply to my life, and that just came out of a daydream. So I got a lesson from morality one time, and all I could remember was that I was in the shower this time. All I could remember, I was on a different planet, and it was a planet where when you look up in the sky, it's black, like you can see the rest of the solar system, as opposed to it being blue when we look up, which is a facade. That's not how it's supposed to look, right? We know this, because the true way that it's supposed to look is more so how it looks at night, which is how it looked on this planet, but it was a little darker. So, you know, it was crazy, and I was talking to some being, I don't remember who it was, and they were giving me a lesson in morality. A lesson that is really applicable to my life here. I don't know who that other being was, but just like daydreams and night dreams are the exact same way, that was in me. That was some part of wisdom of me, some that I can't really explain to you right now because I don't have enough experience. All I know is from what I've heard and the little that I've experienced, but I'm excited. Alright, so I'm going to end this video now because it's been going on for a while. I don't know if you guys are listening to me or not, but we will see. So maybe I'll have something even more exciting for you guys next time. Thanks for watching and spending time with me. See you later.